A cold breeze swept across the crowded bus station as Daniel adjusted his sun. Noah's jacket and guided him toward an empty bench. It had been a long day of work, and he only wanted to get home, cook dinner, and help Noah finish his homework. The station was buzzing with noise, vendors calling out, children crying, people hurrying past. But Daniel's focus stayed on his son, who was quietly studying the shapes of passing buses, just as they sat down. Daniel noticed a girl, maybe around 13, moving slowly toward them. She had a school bag on her shoulder, worn shoes, and one metal crutch supporting her gait. Her left pant leg was empty, neatly folded and pinned. She looked nervous, eyes flicking from Daniel to Noah and then back to the ground as if rehearsing something in her mind. When she finally reached them, her voice was so soft he almost missed it. "Excuse me, can I sit here?" She wasn't asking for space. She was asking for permission to exist in a world that often ignored her. Daniel nodded instantly, sliding over. "Of course. You don't have to ask," but the girl didn't move. She looked at Noah first, maybe afraid his reaction would hurt. Noah simply smiled, scooting over and patting the seat between them. That tiny gesture broke something inside her. She slowly lowered herself onto the bench, careful with her balance, and let out a breath that sounded like relief. After a moment, Daniel asked gently, "You coming from school?" She nodded. "Yeah, but I missed my usual bus. People were rushing today and someone pushed me by accident. I fell, and by the time I got up, the bus left. There." Was no anger in her voice, just exhaustion from a world that didn't slow down for her. Daniel felt a weight settle on his chest. Noah watched her curiously, not with pity, but with honest interest. "Does the crutch hurt your arm?" he asked. She blinked, surprised by the straightforward question. "Sometimes, but you get used to it." Noah nodded like he fully understood. "I get tired too when I carry my backpack." "Maybe your crutch is like carrying a backpack all the time." For the first time, the girl laughed, a tiny but warm sound. "Maybe, yeah, kinda like that." Daniel noticed how she kept glancing at the arriving buses, each one making her shoulders tense. "Which bus are you waiting for?" he asked. "Route 17, Daniel's face softened. "That one is usually crowded. If it comes full, you can come with us on Route 9. It stops near the same area. We'll make sure you get home safely." She stared at him, stunned. "You don't even know me." Daniel shrugged lightly. "You don't have to know someone to be kind." Her eyes filled instantly, and she turned away to wipe them before they fell. Noah looked worried. "Are you okay?" She nodded quickly. "Yeah, people don't usually say things like that." Before Daniel could answer, a gust of wind kicked up dust and she instinctively wobbled. Noah grabbed her hand so she wouldn't lose balance. "It's okay," he said softly. She stared at him like no one had ever reacted so simply, so naturally around her. "Thank you," she whispered. The next bus approached, crowded, loud, people already pushing at the door before it even stopped. The girl tensed and slowly stood with her crutch. "This is mine." Daniel watched the people, shoving and stepping in front of each other without looking back. There was no way she could squeeze through. "Wait," he said gently. She paused, breathing hard. "You're not going to get a seat on that," Daniel said. "You might get hurt." The girl looked at the bus, then at Daniel, then at Noah, conflicted. "But I don't want to trouble you," she said. Daniel smiled a tired but honest smile. "You're not trouble. You're a kid trying to get home." Noah tugged her sleeve. "Come with us. Dad always makes pasta for dinner. It's really good." Her cheeks flushed. I can't go to your house," Daniel chuckled. "He means after we drop you. He only talks about food always." That made her laugh again, this time fuller, freer. When Route 9 arrived, Daniel positioned himself so the crowd wouldn't push her, and Noah stayed close, holding the handrail for her as she boarded. The bus wasn't crowded, and she got a seat easily. She sighed with visible relief, leaning her crutch beside her. "Thank you," she said again, but this time her voice cracked. Daniel sat across from her while Noah sat beside her, chatting about random school stories as if they'd been friends for years. She listened, smiling more with each stop the bus passed. When they reached her neighborhood, Daniel helped her off the bus carefully. She pointed toward a small lane. "My house is just there." Before leaving, she looked at them, really looked, and her lips trembled. No one has ever waited for me like this, or made space, or asked if I'm okay. Her eyes glistened. When I asked if I could sit, I thought you might say no. Daniel shook his head gently. Everyone deserves a place to sit. She bit her lip, and the tears finally slipped down, quiet, grateful, soft. Your answer, it meant more than you know. She waved goodbye, still wiping her eyes as she walked carefully down the lane. Noah waved back enthusiastically. As they headed home, Daniel squeezed his son's shoulder. Always be the person who makes space for someone, he said quietly. Noah smiled. Like we did today? Exactly, Daniel replied. Behind them, the girl paused at her gate and looked back, smiling for the first time that day, knowing that kindness still existed in the world, and that a simple "can I sit here?" had changed much more than just a seat on a bench.